Guten Morgen. How was everyone's weekend? Who do we got here in chat? We got RJ, Martin, Luke, Steven. How are y'all doing today? Captain. I was trying to find a copy of Wellerman that I could use, but alas, I could not find one. So today we're putting the Trident back up on the bench. We got works to do on it. We got some goodies. Orbiter 2.5, the O2S tool head board, and filament sensor. Thank you to LDO for providing the tool head board, and thanks to all you fine members of chat who donated to get the orbiter and orbiter sensor. Not all-wheel drive. This is Ouroboros with servos. So quick rundown for those that don't remember. Get this out of the way. Turn this around, and we'll discuss this a bit. So this is the Voron Trident. We're installing the takeoff tool head with tube air, crossbow filament cutter until we get snapping turtle, Vitali's rigid metal gantry in the 2-wheel drive configuration. We've got, well, let me just move the camera over here and we can show you. Maybe cord wasn't stuck on stuff. We've got, in the electronics bay, we've got Ouroboros by Isaac's Tech. We've got an octopus to run our 3 lead screws. We've got 48 volts, 24 volts, a big ass 5-volt power supply, Waveshare USB hub, Raspberry Pi 5, Big Screw Tech U2C to run the box turtle. And now we're going to try to cram the little USB thing for the orbital tool head board. I guess first matter of business is going to be taking off our extruder. I think I printed this with the orbiter spacing, so I don't think I'm going to need to make a new spacer for the filament cutter, but I can't be certain. Due to a meeting? That sounds like tons of fun. Let me turn the volume down on this so you guys aren't getting feedback on that. It's distracting me. Yeah, so let's go ahead and get this taken off of here. So for those that may have missed it, Friday's Makers Making podcast, we had Jose from LDO join us. Let's break out the Andy, how's it going? Break out the orbiter here. So this is the Orbiter 2.5, nice little compact planetary gear drive extruder. Slightly bigger gears than a BMG. They're RNC coated. That's the difference between your 2 and your 2.5. Is the RNC coating on those gears. Then let's get out our filament sensor, which is right here. This just pop the well, call it out of there. On a side note, this is the kind of connector I like better than the ECAS fittings. ECAS fittings are great, but they're designed to be airtight for use in airlines and stuff. This system is just made to grab onto that, and this piece will actually turn along with your PTFE tube so that it doesn't sit there and cut through your PTFE tube. So big fan of those. All right, and then this is just going to go in here. We're gonna need to loosen these screws up a bit. We might need to replace them actually, but for right now, we're gonna loosen them up so I can get this down in there. There we go. So your orbiter sensor just sits down on there, and it built into this is filament sensor and also a little macro button that gets used to like automatically unload filament. And they've got some nice macros and stuff set up for this so that the second it detects filament in here, it just goes ahead and runs a load sequence. It's really nice. We'll be using this in a slightly different fashion. Things are going good. Yeah, things are going good. All right, so here's our two things. This little PCB thing that gets mounted in the electronics bay. And then we've got our orbiter board. We've got a little adapter thing that goes from the sensor to the board. Because on the back side of the toolhead board, let's go over here to this view. So on the back side of the toolhead board is some pins, right? And this will go like this, And there's some pins on the back of this for your filament sensor and macro button, and that little jumper goes between it to make that connection. Then we've got some screws and the like, but go over here. This goes on here like so. You got two different lens standoffs depending on whether or not you're using the sensor or not. So we need the shorter of the two. I'm going to take this screw out. That comes out. Gets replaced by this one. Like so. One of our two shorter standoffs gets screwed on there. Same thing happens over here. Put our other standoff on there. Put our thumb screw back in. This goes on like so. Oh, there's a spacer I need to print for this. Crap. Forgot about that. Jump over here. Or is there? Maybe I'm supposed to use the longer ones. Oh, I got on my other one. Let me go look. Yeah, there's a little strain relief thingamabobber. Let's go find that. And da, 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 da. Do you want that little standoff? Ah. Where's the stupid cat? Where's the stupid file? Maybe it's on printables. Let's go see if it happens to be on printables. Let's try O2S. Since the link in that document isn't clickable. I'm getting annoyed. Why? Oh, why? Like, see, they look like links, but they are not. Go to orbiterprojects.com. This takes me to the GitHub. This is that new nozzle we were talking about on podcast. Really cool kind of twist flow design. Kind of supposed to be like almost like the Basel nozzle was. John Doe, Bearded Printer, how's it going, folks? Why? Where in the... Okay. Let me do this. Do I have it? Do I have that file in my 2.4 stuff? Let's see. Because I've clearly printed it before. Yeah. Ah. What are you talking about? Not letting me upload it. Which is fun because it can see it. And it's saying there's an error host IP. Okay, we'll restart it and we'll see if it connects or something then. What do we got over here? No, I'm not looking for a new extruder. I was looking for the tool for this thing. We're putting together the orbiter. And I'm trying to print the stupid bracket for it. Print, upload. Fantastic. Now, we need filament. Luke, have you finished your NG yet? All right. Well, while that does that, let's get the little tool head breakout board mounted. Printed a little mounting thing here. This is right here. Let's see. We're going to need heat set eye. Yeah, I imagine time constraints start to creep in there between work and the store and everything else. Probably starts to leave not much time for things. All right, let's put this in. All right. Trying to sort where would be the best place for this in this electronics bay. All right, let's go get a little screw. I haven't looked. Does anybody off the top of their head know what these other two connections are for on the orbiter board? Trying to find a place for this in the bottom. And it's proving fun. Maybe in the back over here. It's a possibility. I'm not sure if this USB cable is going to get all the way over there. Doesn't look like it will. See what kind of options I have left over here. USB A to C cable. Havoc, how's it going? This cable looks like it'll probably get over there. This is a C to C cable. That doesn't even belong in here. All right. So I think we found a cable that'll get back there. Do something with that afterwards. This is a C to C cable. All right. What'd you miss? We are just trying to get this orbiter and everything in here. Let's see. How does this need to go? I need to mount this all the way over here at the point. Okay. So, it's the first of the month. That means I've got some memberships to gift. What do you guys say? Should we give out a couple memberships? It's not the first of the month, it's the second of the month, but still. PP. What? No, there's like 2 extra little ports on the whatchamacallit? O2S breakout board thing. I was just curious if anybody knew off the top of their head what they were for. All right, let's our heat set in here. Welcome to those that to the garage crew, to those that got gifted memberships. We are still working on raising money for tickets and expenses for Rocky Mountain. If you'd like to donate, the best way to do it would be to use the tips link, because YouTube doesn't siphon off 30% of that. But either way you want to do it, gifting memberships, super chat, stickers, tips link, whatever you want to do if you're so inclined, it's greatly appreciated. All right, put that in there. Plug in this USB before we set this down in here, because it's probably going to be a lot easier to plug this in up here than it's going to be down there. Oop. Face fell off of my drawer. There we go. You're shopping on a different screen and just listening to. Yeah, it's just a little breakout board that comes with the O2S. Of course. There we go. Then we got our cable that I gotta punch a hole in this back skirt to get it through here. All right. I need to take a picture of this. There we go. So we're gonna have to de-pin this to put sheathing and some piano wire on this. We're gonna have to run 24 volt all the way over to this. That's what those pins are for. It's the 24 volt input. That is what they're for. Voltage positive. And voltage negative. There we go. Hi, Con. How's it going? That's almost done. Let's find my de-pinning tool. Molex. Printing some stuff for the new printer. Modding a monoprice mini. My son had one of those. All right, let's oh, hold on 1 second.
This is the future. Human error. Evolution. This is the future.
All right, I'm back. SKR Pico, E3D Revo, Dragon Burner, Sherpa Mini CNC 24. Wow, that's one hell of a monoprice like mini rehab, man. That's incredible. All right, let's see here. Here's our sheathing. Let's call it that long. Grab a lighter, just melt these ends down a little bit. Do the same thing over here. Spray. Set the ends of this. I'm gonna wrap these in electrical tape. I think it'll make it easier to put them through. I took this morning and fixed a KitchenAid mixer. I found on the side of the road, big 6-quart KitchenAid mixer. It doesn't have the bowls or mixing tools, but looks like that's going to cost me like 65, 70 bucks on Amazon to get that. But then I have a KitchenAid mixer, but it's one of the smaller ones. I think it's a 5-quart one. This is the big 6-quart one. pretty excited about it. My KitchenAid mixer, let's put it this way. I don't think in the last 5 months I've run my dishwasher without needing to clean my mixing bowl. So I use it quite a bit. And often things that we make require several things to be mixed. So having 2 of them will be very nice. Super excited about that. Oh. That fell off. Cancel exclude object. Resume. Why'd you exclude the wrong damn thing? Man, I don't know why, but stuff is not wanting to stick to my beds. Last few days, I've had a lot of issues with it. I'm not entirely sure why. All right, let's some of our bed adhesive on there. And restart. Mike, how's it going, bud? All right. Let's get some piano wire. Something that can cut it. All right, we got our wire. Lovely. Let's push that in through here. Yep, popped out. Now we'll tighten our sleeving down.
Do you remember how you held me then? Now you got me reaching out. And do you see you got me falling in more times than I can get out. Down in the deep of my mind, I crawl for you and you're always inside. Down in the deep of my mind, how long do I got to keep you?
There we go. Now we've got
Down in the deep of my mind, I
wire, sheathing, all done. Put this off to the side here so we're ready for it. Yikes. I saw you said that you replaced everything and then it blew again. Let's get some heat shrink for that actually. All right, then once more for the other side.
How long do I gotta keep you?
Cut this. All right. Zachary, how's it going? All right, so that'll keep this all nice and in place and from going anywhere or doing anything. Nice finished product. All right, guys, if you haven't already, do me a favor. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you're not. Do all those YouTube things for me. So while we're here in the middle of all this. All right, now, like I said, I need to take and punch a hole through here to be able to run that. Don't like the idea of it, but I don't really have much other option. I don't feel like redesigning the skirt and all that kind of crap.
Just like the street lights lit this town, like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to leave this out. We got this far, don't know how. I see danger in
I'm also not going to be happy with it if I do that.
the night, coming just like the sunrise. You know that we got
Shit. Nice, Cap. All right, let's open up Orca Slicer, I guess. Maybe.
just like a spark that's breaking out. Can't make a stop, can't turn back now. We know that there's no room for doubt. No, we can't turn back now. I
What I want. Alright, this is one we want.
Everything that brought me alive, though we're all like monsters, playing with the monsters. They brought me alive, but got no alibi.
Do this.
Took my innocence without an alibi.
6.6 millimeters. We need this to be 6.6.
Smoking gun, you got me on the run. We know that will come. We're up till dawn, but how can I hide you without an alibi? It's a lover's fight without an alibi. Took my innocence. I can't wait no longer. I'm playing with the monsters. Everything that brought me alive. Oh, we're all like monsters, playing with the monsters. They brought me alive, but got no alibi. It's a lover's fight without an alibi. Took my innocence without an alibi.
All right, there we go. I don't know what I was measuring earlier. All right, now let's get out some of these so I can figure out what measurements I needed on this. These are Canon plugs that I use for the box turtle. This is there. Get calipers out. Cody. Depends on how stock you mean. Clipper screen, I would say, is probably the first thing I would do. Okay, so we need a hole that's 13 millimeters. The negative part. Cylinder. Okay. Let's move this over here. Scale this down. 13. Enter. Great. 13. 13. Move it. I like to move it, move it. There's that. Sink this down. Lovely. Then I need another hole. It's negative part, cylinder. Okay, scale 20 by 20 by let's say we had 7 millimeters on that. So let's say 3. LTX, what's up? All right, so that's definitely not centered. See how that works. Fantastic. Now let's make a hole for our wire here to come through. Let's call it 6 millimeters. 6 tab, just 10 for the sake of whatever. Oh wait, did I do this as a negative part? I don't think I did. Negative part. Cylinder. Okay. Scale. Lovely. Slice. Now we have keystone jack, cable for tool head, connector for box turtle. We got to come over here and figure out where we need our paws to be. Four. 4.2. And pause. Slice plate. Yeah, I would do clipper screen then, bud. Definitely. Gyroid. No. So lately I have been defaulting over to from either cubic or TPMS-D, which I can show you that. It's kind of like a little bit faster version of gyroid. So yeah, that's what I've been going to lately if I'm not using cubic. So 2 hours and 54 minutes on cubic. Let's see what we got on TPMS. 3 hours and 17 minutes. And on gyroid, the same. So it's as fast as gyroid. But anyway, back to cubic. Print. Upload. Did it upload? Yeah, it did. Okay. So, yeah. That's kind of been what I've been going to, rather than gyroid infill or cubic. I've been using that. It's been working pretty good. No. And now this thing's clogged. What the shit? What is going on here? Oh my goodness, this is the second time this fucking thing is broken. Losing my patience. All right, here's what we're gonna do. If I can find it. Apparently I cannot. There it is. This part should be usable. All right. It ain't pretty. I don't know if I can care at this point, but I need this to go together. So where did that nut driver go? There it is. All right. I'll put the little retainer screw on it later. But here is our thing. I gotta print the little clip thing for this, but for now we can get it put on there. Let's get the stepper plugged in. Go back over here. So open is 24 volt, closed is 12 volt. That means I need to put a jumper on for 12 volt, right? Hot end fan, part fan. Vince, how's it going? Okay. I can never remember this. All right, guys. So closed means that it's connected, right? Tiger Viking, how's it going? Yep. All right. So I need to put the jumper on there. That's what I thought. I just, you know, losing my fucking mind, I guess. So, let's see here. Doing good. Yeah. We all lose our minds a little bit at times, I guess. All right, let's see. So this go here. We need a shorter. Shorter screw over here. This one's 20. Let's grab 16. Start printing this skirt. A little bit of bed adhesive on there for insurance. Print. All right, and she's off. Lovely. We have their Mister needs to come up onto this. Where's our? So here's there. This plugs in here. Lovely. We're gonna have to make some extension stuff or something for our fans, I guess. Brad, how's it going? Maker Mill, right? What's up, brother? Maker Vikings working on Tinker Atlas. It's good to see y'all. Sorry that it's a bit of a slow stream. Prison work, yikes. Lunch, that sounds good. Got some leftover pizza I think I'm gonna heat up. Thanks, man. Link in the description for the merch store. I set those prices as low as I feasibly can. Most things I make less than $2 on. So I'm not making really anything on them. But if you want to support the channel or just rep the channel, you know, we got coming up into rep rap season. We got Smurf, Rocky Mountain, Midwest, right? All coming up really soon. Grab some merch, rep the channel, tell some folks about it. All right, let's this thing still hits this lead screw. I lowered it down as much as it can, and it still hits this freaking lead screw. So that was all for naught. Let's see. Where, oh, where has my beacon gone? Oh, where could it be? We got beacon to attach. I really need not the flat pack version of the beacon. Anybody have a Rev H they want to trade me that's standard instead of a flat pack? It's got, yeah, it can't be cartographer. It's gotta be beacon. Unfortunately, cartographer, the chips on the board will actually hit into the metal mount on the takeoff. So unfortunately, it does have to be a beacon. All right, so we got that on there. Ugh. Got that printing. I need to print that little stupid thing. I need to figure out why on earth this is clogged. And some filament, I suppose. See if it's clogged or if it's heat creep. Wagers, anyone? Wagers on clogged or heat creep? Post your guesses in chat now. What is up with this filament? Well, filament's getting hot and melting on the end, so doesn't appear to be heat creep because it's making it all the way down to the hot end. Temperature, take it up to 320. All right. So who guessed clogged nozzle? Oops, dropped something. Shit. fucking Christ. All right. Anyway. Brad with the $20 sticker. Thank you much. I appreciate it. You're awesome. So flat pack will work. Let me get you a better view of why I'm saying that. So here's the beacon. Flat pack. This means that this has to come out and around versus just coming straight up. There's a lot of little tiny components really close to this, so I don't want to switch out this coupling. I've got some Sherlocks, but I'd rather not swap that with all those tiny components soldered to the board right there. Now, according to the documentation, this can support 2 amps on the cooling fans. I don't have a hot end fan, so I can use the TAC and PWM for the hot end fan for one of these and run both of them off the 12 volt for the whatchamacallit, pretty sure. So what I'm thinking, I'll show you here. So if look here where my cursor is, right? So pin 2 is selectable 12 or 24 volt for part fan. So I should be able to set both of them on 12 volt here. One of them to ground here, one of them to TAC and PWM here, and then the other fan to TAC, ground, and PWM over here, and still pull the 12 volt from over here. Jose, perfect guy that might be able to answer the question for me. Am I accurate in what I just said? Can I, in fact, do that? Yeah, Cardo 4 doesn't. The mounting of the electronics on it is different. You were advised not to. So, how would you set this up? Will these fans work if I don't hook up the tachometer and PWM pins, if I just run them on 12 volt and ground, or how do I need to hook these fans up? Ugh. So you connected the 12 volt ground and PWM pins together and only connected one of the tachometer pins. It's 4. And this is 4. So both 12 volts, both ground, and both PWM to signal PWM pin, and tack of only one fan. Okay. Easy enough. All right, let's hope I have enough freaking connectors. So these are males. Okay. I need to figure out what pins what on these Delta fans. Let's see if Luke's lab has the information. Chamois makes a splitter. Let's go over to oh, what something bunker. XR bunker. And let's search for 4 pin. Talking about this. Is this the splitter you're talking about? It was on Fabrico's site. Search 4 pin. I don't know how I'd mount that though. I don't necessarily see a good way of mounting one. Try fan splitter. All right, I'll make you a mod in chat so you can post the link to it. There we go. All right. I'll hold up on that before I make this. But yeah, see, I have regular straight Sherlock connectors, but I don't want to. Yeah, I'm not sure how I would mount that. Let's see over here. Not really a great place to mount it. All right, yellow wires PWM. You haven't mounted yours either? Yeah. We will go. And yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some 4-pin Molex, plug into both, and then merge the wires and go from there. So green, that way I can remove one fan at a time, and I'll hook the tachometer up to the rear fan, the one that's you know, harder to see. All right, let me let's see. Yeah. You running tube conduction, it looks like. Versus tube air on yours. Now, we won't discuss other interesting things I see in that picture, Jose. But me once.
This is the future. Evolution.
All right. So now, grab this.
This is the future.
It's gonna be
Evolution.
red, black all the way at the opposite corner. Blue is next to black. Green. All right. I need to rotate these fans around so that these wires come out the other side.
This is the future. Human error. Evolution. This is the future. Evolution.
All right. Appreciate your help, man. 'Cause I would have wired those up the other way. All right. One. Two. Raj, how's it going? You'd think you'd be able to use that. Whatchamacallit? That other tachometer pin, because it's just a sensing pin, right? Not entirely sure why it's like that, you know? All right. We got our fans turned around somewhere. There it is. So I made this part. It mounts in the back on top, so you can mount a X end stop on top of the takeoff tool head. Now, as I understand it, the new ones have consideration for it already, but I have one of the older ones that don't. So, you know, is what it is. All right, let's I need one that has a little arm on it. Now, for some reason, the holes in this did not print great. The little screws. No, my mount's the older one. All right. Now, whatever size screw this is, I need 5 millimeters longer. So I need 3 M3 by 40s. All right. I need to solder some wires on here too. It's this one. All right. Raj with the €5. Thank you and appreciate it. No. There's slightly she be tight. I ended up putting a little thing for the O2S board all the way back here in the corner. But yeah. So it's been fun. Rocky Mountain fundraising. We were that's 100-watt 5-volt. We are think like $12 off, which is like, so your $19.99 should have brought me up to the point for the ticket, and then whatever taxes on that kind of stuff and fees for buying an airline ticket, I have no idea. Plus I figure probably like $100 for food and stuff for the weekend. I'll eat breakfast, and I think they have like a dinner thing at the hotel. So, you know, there's what it is. So, Jose, we're having issues with disconnects and stuff, and timer too close errors. Raspberry Pi sucks up every bit of 25 watts out of a power supply, and then I had LEDs, so you know I was undervolting the Pi. The original plan was I was going to put Xiaomi's WLED controller in here and use part of the 5-volt for that, but obviously there's no room for that, and the LEDs I had in there burned out. So we're just not doing anything other than 24-volt daylight sticks. Yeah. So I wish it had 50 watts of 5-volt. That way you have some overhead for what you actually need for the Raspberry Pi. But yeah, it's about the size of that one. I think it's a little bit thicker, but it's about that size. All right, I need to, these stick out a little bit. I need to grind those off. Yeah, I'd like to have them for the V0 myself. V0 upgrades coming at some point. I don't know what I'm going to do. So, but I know we're going to do something. All right, there's some wire for our end stop. We're probably going to put a repeato in there. I would like to replace the Pico Billicle and the SKR Pico with something that's not RP40 based, probably SR Mini E3 V3, as well as some sort of tool head board. I haven't made my mind up on what kind of tool head. Likely it'll be Likely it'll be like a dragon burner. Something with some 40-10 fans, increase the cooling a bit on the tool head. All right, now because this is going to be riding on an aluminum tool head with the whatchamacallit right above it, I'm gonna grab some heat shrink and throw on there. Just better safe than sorry. There, Brad. Captain, is it not in the sample config?
Just like the street lights lit this town, like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to leave this out. We got this far, don't know how. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna let it out.
All right. Now, what I'm going to do to try to make my life a little bit easier, I'm going to hit this with the grinder real quick. All right, there's that. As I'm going to take an M3 tap and run it in there.
Just like a spark that's breaking out. Can't make a stop, can't turn back now. We know that there's no room for doubt. No, we can't turn back now. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna light it up. Tonight we gonna light it up, babe. Tonight we gonna light it up just like the
If I had printed this thing with a 0.4 nozzle, I would have probably had better luck. Well, that ain't gonna work. Tried to throw it in the vise, but Well, this ain't working either. Shit. Later, Jose. Well, shit. That broke off. We'll be all right with 2 points, but shit, come on. All right, moment of truth. Does it trigger? Doesn't seem to be triggering. Oh no, it is. Perfect. All right. We need a zip tie in there. It's not triggering is very triggering to you. Yeah. Would be. All right. Let's... Perfect. There we go. You guys couldn't see what I was doing at all. Now you're in black and white. That's about right. There we go. Skirts printing. We were working on this. So this whole situation. Need to design an arm for this cutter too. Yeah. All right. one set of wires. So wait, I done fucked up, folks. I done fucked up. Shit. That green wire was supposed to be left long. All right, let's see. Last crimp. All right. Get in there. Red. Green. Blue. And black. All right. No, not yet. It's the blue wire. It's the blue wire that needs to be long. take the blue wire out of there. All right. No blue wire on this one. All right. All right, there's one. to get all these spliced together. Holy cow, is it 2 o'clock already? All right, we're gonna finish up this fan splitter here, and then I am going to go eat something. All right, so while we do this last connection, if you haven't already, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't. If you like the things that we do here, consider becoming a channel member. Right now we're raising money to be able to make it out to Rocky Mountain Rep Fest in Colorado. So consider, if you can, supporting that. Yada yada, all the normal billing department crap. You know what it is. It's all the normal YouTube stuff. We're gonna have to be extremely careful. Because this cutter is there. Yeah. Anyway, guys, thanks for joining me. Thanks for hanging out. We're going to make our way through this project. I don't know if it'll be next stream or stream after, but we'll get to flashing some clipper stuff, because I can't belt this until I can do some setup on these servos. So I need to get clipper running on everything before I can do anything. Y'all have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you later this week. I don't know if it'll be tomorrow. It might be. I gotta look at the calendar. Take care, y'all. Bye.